Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back, and today we're going to be looking at the FDR Logging update number 6.0. This one's pretty exciting with some new toys and a whole bunch of new fixes and good things. I think you guys are going to be pretty excited about this one. So let's jump right into it. The first thing we're going to look at is the new toys. So in front of you, you guys get to see all the new toys. So that includes the brand new Tigercat 234B. This is the tracked edition of this machine. It turned out absolutely stunning. This was a big thanks to Patreons and YouTube supporters who donated money. We were able to do a mod vote, and this is the one that got picked. So this is more used in southern, I guess you'd say southern states, more so than northern. Up here where I live in Canada, we don't really see this kind of stuff up here. I've never seen anything like this. Also, you'll notice the boom is on the left-hand side. So when you're operating, your boom is actually over here instead of over here, which is kind of trippy while you're working. But the controls are all exactly the same. It's not like too crazy. So hopefully that'll be a fun time for you guys. But yeah, it turned out nice and looks good. The model itself is actually beautiful. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And yeah, hopefully you Southern guys who requested it are going to be very happy running your Southern style equipment. Right on. The other thing we're going to add is the B-Train. So this is an exciting setup that lots of people wanted, was the B-Train setup. We're going to go over the yarder. I'm going to save that for last because I'm going to do a little quick tutorial that will end up being an FAQ video. So let's do this truck and trailer first. So the B-Train is a trailer system where you have a larger trailer and then a little pup trailer that connects to it. So we're just going to hook up to the main one. So all you got to do is drive, oops, I'm a little too far there. Hook up to that one. I have my HUD turned off so I can't see my, when it's time to hook up notifications. And we're going to back this guy up and then hook up with this one. And then if you're as terrible as Jordan is backing up trailers, I could never back up a B-Train, I think, if my life depended on it. So there you go. So now you got the full set. You can do a medium length on the front and then shorts on the back, or shorts on all three bunks, or whatever your heart desires. So the cool thing about this one, even though it's not the best working system, you can stack the trailers on top of each other. So I'm going to go over here. So basically what I want to do is I want to pull up so that the rear trailer, that pup trailer, is lined up with that loader. So right about in the middle there. And we're going to disconnect that rear trailer. So again, I've lined it up so that this rear trailer is in alignment with the center of that machine, or roughly about there, and then make sure it's disconnected from this trailer on its own. You're gonna see this little weird metal bar here. So this is going to be your loading bar, and you're gonna grab it. So basically it's like a molly. If you know what a molly is, that's basically what the setup is. So this little guy here is what the loader grabs onto to lift it up. Now in real life, some of these are made out of wire. They flex. Older versions I had were flexible as well, but we found they were having a lot of weird issues. So this is the solid version. Now when you're using grapples to pick this stuff up, you kind of got to find, like this one has a lot of wide fork range on it. So you kind of got to find a spot. If you try to pick it up with all the forks on it, I'll show you what happens. So if you try to pick it up like that, it's going to twist on you, and the whole trailer is going to want to go sideways because there's not quite enough room in there for all of your little sharp fork ends. So what I usually do is I'll try to line it up so that the majority of the forks are going in, but not all of them. So it's kind of almost offbeat like that. As you can see, it'll sit a little more stable. And then you control kind of the way the trailer sits by shifting your boom up and down like that. So I'll just raise this up real high like this. We'll let it sit in the air. And then what you want to do is back your truck up, or if you're in multiplayer, have the other guy back that trailer up. And I usually line it up about there. So kind of like that middle stake is almost in the center. I mean, everybody loads differently, but I try to line this center stake up on the main trailer kind of with the center. That way you can kind of see what you're doing. So then when I go back, I can make sure that I can see those tires. And what you want to do, and this is probably not going to be perfect because this game isn't like real life, you want to try to line those tires up with the center of that back one, and you also want to make sure that the trailer is centered to this trailer. So as you can see, it's way off to the right, so we're going to want to bring that in as we bring it down. In real life, it's also not super easy. So again, I want to bring it in a little bit, and I want to dump it down, and then as you go, you kind of just feel it out as you go, just like real life where you're kind of playing a guessing game. And I'm going to give it a little twist. Ooh, there we go. And that's actually quite perfect, so we're going to leave it like that. Now, it doesn't sit, honestly, as good as it does in real life, but they do sit. Sometimes these tires will rub on the other tires if you're not careful. Again, we're a little bit off to the right-hand side, so you could always bump it back over with your loader if you feel you're off. But yeah, she's on there. So now, these obviously have locking straps on them, so if you get in your main truck, hit L, and those locking straps will actually lock that trailer to there, so that when you're driving down the road, it doesn't try to fall off. And then basically it's the same thing when you're removing the trailer. You just grab it, lift it, back, drive the truck forward, and then you can hook the trailer back up again. We'll give you a real quick demo of that, just so people know how this works. And again, you don't have to put the trailer on the back. If you don't, you can just drive right out to the bush. It's just a really long setup. So again, I try to line it up kind of with the middle of the loader there. Make sure you unlock the trailer, otherwise you will not be able to get it off there. Again, hop back in your loader. So again, I'm using this grapple. It'll be different with every grapple that you use, but try to find a spot where it kind of sits nicely. So mine likes to sit about there. And then lift. And so there's two things you can do. I can get out right now of the truck, or get out of the loader, drive the truck ahead, and then put that thing down. So if you have a multiplayer group or whatever. The other thing you can do is you can actually just go back here, depending on whether our loader is going to fall over or not. No, we got her. We got enough weight. And just kind of line it up. Open your claw. And what you want to do is you want to line the top of this tongue up with that round. So you can actually just kind of grab this, oops, gently, not like I just did. Just a gentle nudge and slide it over like so. And then just put it on there. It's good practice. And then make sure your claw's out of the way. And Q to attach. And you're all hooked up. And that's all you got to do. So that's basically all you have to do in order to get the B-Train setup hooked up. Now on these ones, I know some people wanted to make like road trains where you could attach, 30, 40 trailers in a row. These ones are not set up like that. These ones just have the connection point on the B-Train main part, and there is no rear connection point. If other modders out there really want to add that, you can absolutely go ahead and party on. But it's a little too much for me, so I'm not interested in doing that. Okay, cool. So we got that down pat. We looked at the Tigercat. Now we're going to look at the Eltech. So this is the Eltech Grapple Yarder. So this will be the beginning of the tutorial that I'm going to be posting for this Grapple Yarder, because people will probably need to know how to use it. So again, just a point of note here. This machine from Eltech is not actually a real machine that they build currently. This is just a prototype concept that I built with Eltech's logo as a prototype idea. Maybe one day they will make something like it, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to use them as a brand, as they were kind of one of our major first sponsors. So why not have some fun, right? So again, it is the 317, so it's exactly the same cab as the loader version of this machine. The only difference is obviously we have a grapple and a long line to connect. So I'm going to show you guys how this works with a quick tutorial. So excuse me, in order to set this up, the first thing you got to do is you got to determine where you're going to put it. So if, for instance, I wanted to pull logs from over past those two trees that we're looking at, then I would want to set my yarder up right here. I like this spot. So in order to set your yarder up, you need to have it so it attaches to a ground point. So that's where this fun little contraption comes at the back end here. This is the best method for physics only setup that I have. There is no current script that works properly with it. So if you go on your keyboard, Shift plus P, as in Patrick, you'll come to this menu here. You click on this which is fences. It says fences at the top, or it's like decorations. And then you scroll over, I think, until it says decoration. Scroll down in this list all the way down till you see this $30 fuel pump. So it's kind of this weird little green fuel pump. So you want to click that and drop it. Oh, I think we're in a shop area, so it might not like that. Here, let's put it right here, and we'll back the machine up. So you want to put this so that it's facing away from your machine. So that point is facing away. So we're going to just dunk that right there. So this is my redneck hokey way of doing physics, but it actually works extremely well. So here we have the pump mechanism, and it is basically the most solid object on Earth. In real life, it'd probably break off, but in this game, we're having fun with it. So before I hook up, I'm going to tell you guys about the controls, and then I'll hook up and show you how it works. So when you're inside the machine, the first thing that's going to trip you guys out is the machine is the controls are very different compared to the other machines. So for instance, on your left joystick, which is normally for your stick control, pushing your left joystick forward will push out that cart with the line. Pulling your left joystick backwards, it will bring it in. All right, so this is if you set your controls up the way my FDR control video is set up. This is how they will be on this machine. On your right stick, if you push your right stick forward, so normally would be boom down, it actually lowers the line on that grapple. Same difference if you pull your right stick back, which would normally be boom up, it will raise that line on the grapple to get your grapple closer and further from the ground. All right? Okay, so now to actually control the boom itself, which is, you know, the actual boom control, now that one is going to be the exact same control as what opens and closes your buncher secondary claw. So I'm just going to back tab here. So this same control that does this button here, which is your secondary collector claw, is the same button that will control the boom on this yarder here. So that is for controlling it. And the reason I have it set up like that is because you're not going to be using your boom adjustment very often. It's usually going to be set and then forget it. Kind of set it and forget it. The other one is your swing, so that's the same as the other old machine. So push your left stick to the right, it swings to the right. Push your left stick to the left, it swings to the left. All right. Now it moves very slowly, as you can see. So that's at full bore. That's as fast as the cab will turn. And the reason for that is when you're operating that grapple at really long distances while you're yarding, these micro movements are a godsend, because a teeny movement here is like a huge movement if you're way down there, as you guys will discover. The only other control on this machine is for this little tail piece down here. So this little tail piece actually opens and closes. You'll be able to slide it and close it like that. Now the control for that is the same control as on your processor. So on your processor, the same button that lowers the head and raises the head, that's the same control that will operate this tailpiece for closing and opening it. So some of these controls are a little wacky to some, but they really do make sense in the long run. So like I said, what you want to do is, if we're pretending we're going to grab wood from down there, we want to make sure that we hook up to this. Because what I'll show you is currently, if you try to send that line out, so I send that line out really far with that big thing on there, you will see my machine is already trying to tip over, and we haven't even got that far out yet. Now imagine if you put trees on there. See how it's trying to fall over? That's bad. Bad news bears. So bring that line back in. And now what we're going to do is we're going to back up to this beautiful redneck fuel pump over here, or water pump, sorry. And what we're going to do is we're going to line this up perfectly with that pump and drive right into it. So you see how it's positioned right inside there like that. And then all you gotta do is use that same button that controls the processor head to go up and down to close it. Shweek. So there you go. Now we are locked in, and this machine cannot escape. It can still move side to side if you're being kind of crazy with it, but you'll notice when you run your line out, Now it doesn't really matter if the machine wants to go up or down or turn around, because we are, you can see it's kind of fighting with it a bit. So here we go, as I go further out, make adjustments, but it is firm as a rock, and we can go out pretty darn far. So the other thing on this one is your camera. So if you hit C on your keyboard, it'll change your camera angle. So you can either do inside the cab, or you can do this travel cam, which is attached to the actual grapple itself. So as you run it out, you'll be able to kind of see where you're going to grab logs and what you're doing. Let's see how far we can go. We'll just send it right across this lake here. Eventually we will run out. You can't control the view on this one, so if I stop, it'll actually swing. Okay, we're not going to go right across the lake. But as you can see, you can go pretty far out, and this machine still stays very stable. So, I mean, like, that line is all the way out there. So you're able to control this. The line itself does not trigger to a fixed point anywhere. So you're able to shift the line back and forth. Oh, we're kind of far out here now. We should probably bring it in. But you're able to shift the line back and forth and kind of direct it wherever you'd like. As you can see, I can like kind of move it back and forth. There's a lot of weight on there. That's why all the controls are very slow. But if you're doing kind of medium distances, I mean, you don't want to go too crazy long with this. You might have a little bit of issues, but for the most part, in my other testing videos, lots of you guys saw me running with the machines and grappling and grabbing stuff. It works really well. And again, the grapple controls, so like rotating your grapple, closing your grapple, those are all exactly the same as the other machines, so those will come right natural to you. But after you run it for a bit, it feels a little weird at first, and then it's kind of like a claw game. You just kind of really have a good time with it. So yeah, that is the setup for that. So yes, I realize this setup on the back is kind of hokey and a little bit redneck, but it works really well, and you're not going to have any scripting issues if you're playing a multiplayer, because it's all physics-based. There's no scripting involved. This is all physics, everything across the board. So give it a shot. Have some fun with it. I have moved a lot of trees with this bad boy, and it works incredibly well for moving bunches. So like some of my videos I had where I just drove up the hill with a buncher and I knocked all the trees down. You don't need to skid them, because this guy is a flying skidder, be the way to put it. Okay, so now that we've gone over the toys, which are going to be very exciting for all you guys to play, there are some changes, good changes, possibly some of the best changes we've had in a while. So I'm going to go out here somewhere. Let's okay, well, so first on all the maps, so all these maps are safe for save games, so you don't have to worry about anything getting affected if you have a save game going. All of the maps, I have slightly, not a crazy amount, but I have slightly increased the tree friction. So the trees rub against each other. They don't slide as much as they did. I did have some feedback from people saying they were just a teeny bit too slippery in some cases. So I have adjusted that just a hair, not a lot, because I can't have it too not slippery or they start binding up really bad. I still want them to stack nice in trailers. So a little bit changes on that. The other fix, so on all of the machines with tracks, all of the tracked machines, I have added more friction to the tires themselves. So all the tracks have more friction, means they'll slide less on the ground. They also have more torque and more power. So if you're driving over weird, uneven terrain, you shouldn't have them hanging up. In the last update, some people said where if the ground was kind of jaggedy, they would drive the tracks on them and the machine would get stuck and the tracks would just spin or it wouldn't move at all. So now these have been torqued up quite a bit. So you'll be able to climb hills really easy. You'll be able to drive over weird stuff and sharp objects without as much issues. Skidders and forwarders. Where's my forwarder? Oh, it was right there. So skidders and forwarders, there was an issue, and I think it's still a teeny bit of an issue, but much less, where basically if you moved the machine at all, you'd start to notice that your machine would start to like turn side to side, like the ground, it would just float. So I think it still does it a teeny weeny bit. Like if I move my boom, yeah, barely at all. I don't think it really is moving at all. But what would happen is you could sit here, and if you moved your boom, you can actually watch this machine slowly turn to the left. And that was an issue with friction and mass of the tires and a whole bunch of stuff. Still don't think it's 100% perfect, but it's better. I also fixed this pin here. I added a pin on there because there was some really bad cylinder action going on where it was cutting through the sides of it. So that's all fixed now. Yeah, skidders have been updated with the new physics. Okay, grapples, all fixed grapples. The dangle heads are all still pretty well the same. All fixed grapples have been upgraded. They are more heavy duty. And what I mean by that is they have more spring. They can hold a lot better. They grip very aggressively to the logs, which is good. So I'm going to give you a demonstration here. So they just close a little bit. They close a little bit more responsive, so they almost feel a little bit faster when they close. This allows them to kind of scoop up the logs more appropriately. The frictions have been changed. Every single fixed grapple has had an update for that kind of stuff. So now when you grab into piles, you'll find that it grips very hard into them. I'm going to drop that bottom one. So it grips very hard on the trees and hangs on really, really well. I'm actually going to try to pencil this and see if I can get a straight shot here. Oh, almost. Come on. You can do it. There you go. Drop that down. So you'll notice they just hold on better. So in the last update, I had a few comments from people, and I noticed it as well because it was a first update with the lightweights. The grapples were just a little weak. So like when you're grabbing from piles and stuff, they would not grip into the trees as much, and they wouldn't roll up the trees as nicely. So now you can see they roll them up into a nice grip, and they hang on. Like, I don't have to worry about those claws. Like, if I shake this around, those claws ain't moving, man. They're very, very, very strong. They might be a little slightly unrealistically strong, maybe, I don't know, but honestly, it feels pretty good. And again, you can see with the tree frictions, the logs still settle very nicely in the bunks while you're loading. I'm just going to grab another little scoop here, and that's it, because I could do this all day. But as you can see, grip's really nice, great hold on it, and drops them nice. And because the claw is more responsive, it opens and closes faster. So when you get the logs actually in the bunk, so if I pick up this nice little bundle, you can open it really fast to just do a big dump, and then they'll kind of settle a little bit better if you want. Just I wouldn't recommend doing that from a height, at least not in real life where your truckers are going to kill you. I'm going to grab one more scoop just because I'm feeling scoopy today. So again, does a really nice good grab in there. Oh, let's get the bottom here. There we go. Nice grab like that, and you can do some penciling action. Let's actually try to do some side stuff. These are kind of long, but we'll try it. Oops, close enough. Sure, screw it. That's not a very good pencil, but that's all right. Again, you can open it pretty quick, and they just kind of dump right in there quite nicely. Then you can you do your readjustments and all that stuff. Anyway, every single fixed grapple you're going to have a good time with. Loading, it feels a lot better. Same with this guy. So this is that same grapple that we were playing with earlier to load that B train. You're going to find even handling like larger trees like longs and stuff. See how hard it grips up on those trees? Before, the tongs were, like, the claws were a little bit loose. Oh, am I in the bunk here? Doesn't feel like it. There we go. I can't see my back bunk, so I'm just kind of eyeballing here. But they felt loose, so like they still have some springiness to them. Like if you put weight on them, they will move. So like as you can see, if I put weight on them, they do have a bit of flex to them, but not anywhere near as much as we had in the last update. So they are just a lot more firm, a lot more grippy. So when you grab these big piles of trees, they hang on a lot more realistically in a hydraulic sense. My problem was I just didn't want them hanging on too hard, because if they hang on too hard, the tree starts to glitch out and act a fool. But as you can see, even grabbing these long trees, it grips amazingly well. It just gives you a better operating feeling because you actually have control of the material that you're working with, which is great. Okay, well, that's a terrible load because I did not cradle any of those. So anyway, we're just going to walk away from that. Looks like a trucker problem now. All right, the last one is the buncher heads. Ooh, I'm excited about the buncher heads. So will you too. Processors, nothing new. Maybe some minor tweaks. There's probably tons of little stuff I did that I'm not even mentioning, but it'll just all be better. So these guys had a major overhaul. They have a wholly renewed design system on them. They grab way better. So similar to those other grapples, these ones also grab much more violently and efficiently. Same with the secondary claws. The secondary claws have actually been redone. So I'll show you here. Everything just hangs on a lot better, and everybody has a much better time. I actually I went on this absolute bunching spree yesterday and had a really good time. So the cut note is also a lot lower. So if you're cutting closer to the ground, you will notice that your stump is either gone or it is very low if you do get one. In this case, I'm pretty low. They're pretty low stumps. But you'll find that the blade is a lot more efficient for cutting. But you see how it hangs on to those trees a lot better? See how those claws barely move now? Much more efficient. In the last update, they were very loose. The claws were very loose. And the problem that would happen is they would not grip onto... So, for instance, if I tried to grab this big tree, with those last claws, you would not have been able to grab it. And as you can see, it's hanging on really good, right? Barely any movement at all. So this is going to be super fun for you guys because you're not going to struggle with the buncher as much. Again, it's got a really strong grab. So when I'm going to grab that next tree, it just sucks it right in there and hugs it for all life. And because those secondary claws are now dynamic, not fixed, they hang on to the trees a lot better too. Whoops, a little hop there. But you can just get lost in the sauce here and have a good time. Because I have gone on absolute bunching excursions for hours with this thing now that it's so easy to bunch with. Because everything just hangs on. You don't have to worry about dropping trees unless you're doing something really silly. They all fall in a nice unison pattern. And I just got to keep bunching because I am obsessive. Anyone who wants to turn the video off now, that is okay. But I don't recommend it because I have one more subject to talk about. But my OCD is not allowing me to not cut these last 3 trees. So I'm going to go 1, and I'm going to go 2, and then I want this one too because it just completes my set. But as you can see how quick and fast and snappy that is to cut with? You're not fighting anymore, that's for sure. And look at these buncher piles. Like, those are tight. Right? Let's see. Let's take a look. Looks pretty good, right? Look at that. I mean, it's kind of fluffed out a bit, but... I did all of this just with one test in, I don't want to say more than 25 minutes, not even maybe, and cut this whole row back here and all of this. And look how smooth and nice those piles are. Like, they're all butted up nice, and I didn't do anything special. It's just that freaking buncher head. All of them are just working so great now, so you guys are going to love that. So excited! Okay, the last thing I want to go over, multiplayer issues. So since Giants had put out their last update, there are issues with multiplayer. So dedicated servers specifically, more than anyone, and the odd time hosted ones. So for the most part, the hosted ones I haven't had as much issues on, but for the dedicated servers, there's an issue still with these machines doing jumping. So basically what's happening is, if I get in this machine, I'm just going to drive it ahead here a little bit, get it off of all of these sticks. So what's happening in those servers is if you turn to the left and the right, as you can see, it is just fine. It is smooth, right? So what's happening in dedicated servers is this machine is hopping violently. Hop, 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 hop. And it jumps around, and it's a big issue for a couple people that were reporting it. So in this update, 6.0 that you're downloading right now, I have adjusted the friction on the tracks. I have changed a whole bunch of stuff with the suspension. If this does not correct it, then I cannot fix it, because it's the last steps I have available to me to address the issue. And if it does not improve or go away entirely, then that's something that you got to take up with Giants. Because at this point, it's becoming more and more a single-player game every day with the way that their multiplayer servers are falling aloof. The only other time you're going to see hop is if you have low frame rate. So right now, I have 60 frames. You can see it pop up there in green, 60 frames a second. If I turn physics mode on, this one, it drops down to 20 frames, which is horrible. So as I've described in multiple videos, if you have 20 frames a second, you're having a bad time. So if I swing side to side, you're going to see a whole bunch of shuddering and shifting, and you'll see it hopping like that. That is the physics trying to keep up with the frame rate, because the physics are tied in to your game's frame rate. So although it's still usable, it's horrible because it's moving around. You don't want that, right? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you move really slow, the game will still be friendly with you. So if you got low frame rate, move really slow. But as you can see, if I turn that physics mode off, Look, we have 60 frames a second. I could swing as fast as I want. Look how smooth it is. Weird, hey? No more shifting. So again, it's all to do with frame rate. So if you have a bad frame rate, you're gonna have issues with your machines. And the multiplayer stuff, I don't know if it's tied to frame rate of the dedicated PC. I don't know if it's tied to something they changed in the physics. I literally have zero insight to why on dedicated servers people are having issues with machine jumps. Yeah, but hopefully this update will fix it. If this update does not fix it, we are SOL, and you'll have to email Giants and be like, yo, what'd you do? Revert back to the better update. All right, Kate. Well, I've already talked for a half hour. If anybody's actually still by the end of this video, I am impressed with you. I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope you guys enjoy the new update. There are more cool things coming. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.